Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving deep into one of Scotland's most incredible natural treasures. We're talking about the vast, shimmering waters and the epic mountains that surround Loch Lomond. So get ready, this is your complete explorer's guide.
I think H.V. Morton just hit the nail on the head with this quote. It's the perfect way to start, because he totally gets what makes the loch so magical. It's not just the water. It's those beautiful, green, tangled islands that really give it its legendary character. It's a view that people have been falling in love with for hundreds of years.
So to really wrap your head around Loch Lomond, we have to start with just how massive it is. Seriously, this isn't just some picturesque little loch. It's an absolute giant. A true inland sea that defines the entire region. Let's crunch some numbers to see what we're dealing with. Okay, let's start with this. 71 square kilometers. That is the surface area of Loch Lomond. To put that in perspective, that makes it the largest lake in all of Great Britain by surface area. It's a colossal expanse of fresh water. You could explore for days and still feel like you've only scratched the surface. And now think about its length. The loch stretches for over 36 kilometers from south to north. And what's really cool about that is it actually crosses a major geological line, starting in the rolling Lowlands and pushing way up into the rugged, dramatic Highlands. And sprinkled across that huge surface, you've got more than 30 islands. Some people even say it's closer to 60, depending on how high the water is. Each one is like its own little world, from the biggest freshwater island in the British Isles to tiny, rocky outcrops. They all add up to give the loch its one-of-a-kind personality. You see, the story of Loch Lomond is really a tale of two halves, all because of a dramatic split deep in the earth. This geological quirk has created a landscape with two totally different personalities, and it all boils down to one massive fault line. And this is it, the Highland Boundary Fault. This is the secret to understanding Loch Lomond. It's not just some line on a map, it's a huge fracture in the Earth's crust that slices right across Scotland. And guess what? The loch sits right on top of it, and that fault is the reason for its incredible split personality. And this slide just breaks it down perfectly. North of the fault, you have the Highlands. Here, ancient glaciers carved a super deep, narrow channel into really hard rock, creating this fjord-like loch that's almost 190 meters deep in places. But then, south of the fault, those same glaciers hit softer stone and just spread out, creating this wide, shallow basin filled with all those islands we were talking about. It's literally two completely different lochs that just happen to be joined together. So how do you even get to this amazing place? Well, for most people, the whole adventure kicks off at the southern end of the loch, in a lively little town that's pretty much the gateway to this whole national park. And you know what? Getting there is surprisingly easy, which is a big reason it's so popular. A visitor mapped out this simple train journey. You just hop on a 45-minute train from Edinburgh to Glasgow, make a quick platform change at Queen Street, and then it's a 50-minute ride that drops you right on the shores of the loch in Balloch. It's just incredibly accessible. And that brings us to Balloch, which literally means the village on the loch. This is pretty much ground zero for visitors. It's where you'll find the main visitor center, plenty of restaurants and pubs, and most importantly, the docks where the boat trips set off up the River Leven and out into the main loch. Okay, so once you're there, a whole world of adventure just opens right up. It doesn't matter if you're out on the water or exploring the land around it, the park is just a massive playground of natural beauty and legendary views. Getting out on the water, your options are pretty much endless. You can jump on a 1-hour guided cruise to get your bearings and hear some local stories about the islands. Or if you're feeling a bit more adventurous, you can rent a kayak and just paddle out to find your own hidden spots. You could visit Inchmurren, Britain's largest freshwater island, or go looking for the most random residence ever, a colony of wallabies on Inchconnechen Island. Yep, I'm not kidding, wallabies on a Scottish island. And hey, don't sweat the weather. Most people say the classic Scottish mist and rain just makes everything look even more mysterious and beautiful. And while you're down at the pier in Balloch, you absolutely cannot miss this incredible piece of history. This is the Maid of the Loch, the last paddle steamer ever built in Britain. She sailed the loch for 29 years, and now she's being lovingly restored right there at the pier. It's such a cool link to the golden age of tourism here. Back on dry lands, the adventures are just as epic. You've got the world-famous West Highland Way, a 96-mile trail that runs right along the eastern shore. You can climb Ben Lomond, which is the most southerly of Scotland's moonrows. Those are the big mountains over 3,000 feet. Or for a shorter hike with an insane payoff, climb Connick Hill. The view of the islands from the top is just wow.
And that's not even scratching the surface. The whole park has 21 moonrows and 20 corbets, which are just slightly smaller mountains. Plenty to explore. You know, this really gets at the heart of the loch's appeal. Even with modern life creeping in, that timeless landscape always wins. One visitor put it perfectly after seeing a modern shopping center nearby, saying they just needed to go and refresh our minds with some proper traditional Scottish architecture. It perfectly sums up that balance between modern convenience and historic beauty you find all around here. But here's the thing about Loch Lomond. It is so much more than just a pretty picture. This is a landscape that is absolutely steeped in thousands of years of human history, natural evolution, and cultural meaning.
Let's just take a quick walk through time. Humans have been here for 5,000 years. Much later, Viking raiders showed up. They actually dragged their longboats overland to raid the islands. Wild, right? Then, in 1810, Sir Walter Scott's poetry made the area famous, kicking off the first real wave of tourism. And of course, in 1841, the song The Bonnie Banks of Loch Lomond was published, and the loch became a true icon. All of that history led to 2002, when the area was officially protected as the national park we know and love today. And of course, a place this wild is just teeming with incredible wildlife. The water itself has more fish species than any other loch in Scotland, including the super rare pawan. The forests and hills are home to classics like red deer, pine martens, and even golden eagles. And yep, there they are again, a colony of wallabies. It's just this incredible hotspot of biodiversity. So, because of all this amazing natural heritage, it's no surprise that the loch is one of the most protected landscapes in the whole UK. I mean, look at this list of protections. It's a national park, a national scenic area, a national nature reserve, and a special area of conservation. It's even a Ramsar site for migratory geese. All these layers are absolutely essential to make sure this place survives for future generations. So in the end, whether you're thinking of the low road from that famous beautiful song, or the actual high road of the West Highland Way that winds along its shores, Loch Lomond is just so much more than a lake. It's a true cornerstone of Scottish identity, a vital escape for millions, and a place where geology, history, and nature come together in the most spectacular way. And all of this leaves us with one final big question. This incredible landscape was forged over thousands and thousands of years. As we continue to visit it and love it and draw inspiration from it, what is our role in its story? How do we make sure its wild beauty is still here for thousands of years to come?